4.9-0. Fuck off, baby. Welcome back to the Great Cricketer, brought to you by ACO, India's leading digital insurance company. There's a couple of blokes who are circling tonight in Hobart who may need some insurance on both sides of the equation. If you got Bairstow stories tonight, send them in. Respect the players, though. You've got to respect the players. Pez, the Ashes have been retained many moons ago, but this is a clinical win in the most comical way, the most England way possible. It rounded up the entire series. Siders running in with a captain's armband. He rock and rolls Ollie Robinson, and we lift up 4 to their 0. It feels good again.
Certainly does, he goes. And, mate, 2 hours ago, England was 68 for none. And looking good, looking like it could be is this going to be some sort of nice finish on a high type scenario? Nice to see Rory Burns with some runs, wearing his hair differently. Crawley's being Crawley. Why can't Australia get anything out of this deck? Wood ran riot earlier. We'll talk about him. Great spell. But, okay, sure, we'll give it to him. It's starting to think about 3-1. What's 3-1 sounding like? That's not right.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
Feel right.
And then they're all out 124. I mean, we've not prepared notes for this one. We've walked straight in at the end of the day's play, or the evening's play. Yep. I think you got a TV on. They haven't even announced player of the series yet. And so we're speaking viscerally. I haven't even put forward the visceral minute yet. That's how hot off the press these thoughts are. But I suppose I don't really know how you want to attack this daily. He goes, do you want to do the day, or do you want to make it broader? Because I have a dual thought on the Ashes. I'm so happy for it, the whole thing happening, going ahead, England coming over. I've still really enjoyed all of the cricket, and yet, my last memory of it is just laughing and also similarly being appalled at the way wickets were falling. I don't know how you want to play that.
I think I want to celebrate some moments in the day before we get into how fucking abject that was in the last hour. But I want to start with, first of all, 1 brings 10. Great explainer today.
Yeah.
Mark Wood, though.
Yeah.
Up there for me today and last night with maybe the individual performance of the summer. There's been some good ones. Bairstow runs last week. There was Travis Head's 100 of the Gabba. Mitchell Starks played really well generally throughout the series. Boland's moments, 6 for. Mark Wood today he dragged this England team into a position where we'll have a look at a chase for a bit, and then it will just fall over. But that was quick. It was execution. It was skill. It was fucking high caliber shit. And he's bowled more overs. I saw a stat today. I apologise to who put it on Twitter, so I don't know who it was, but Mark Wood has bowled more overs than anyone in this entire series for England, and more than half of those overs have come after the series has been decided, which kind of wraps up the series nicely for England. And what the fuck have they been doing this 2 years in the planning for this shit? I mean, fuck me. But he was outstanding today, Mark Wood, and he's a funny guy because he rides imaginary horses when he's fielding for some reason. So I like that.
Yeah, look. I mean, my instinct with performance of the summer is a bit cool Jets, only because losing side, 5th test and shit. But that's just my problem, because I think that if Wood bowls like that in any other context, 1st test, 2nd test, any other year, or in a winning side, mate, it was every bit as frightening to those bats out there as Mitchell Johnson was. So I was watching all of that really closely, doing the Guardian blogs. Had to fucking type every over he was bowling. I wasn't scrolling some shit, keeping an eye on it. And mate, from yesterday, mate, he was playing a different game to those guys. The Aussies were scared. They had none of them had any plan to him that had any kind of efficacy apart from Nathan Lyon hooking him over the boundary. It was class above stuff. And when you compare it to the Aussies collapsed quite badly in both innings, but still wasn't as bad as England, in the 4th innings. But none of the Aussie bowlers could frighten their counterparts the way that Mark Wood could. It was just in terms of an individual contest, it was sensational. I mean, 6 for 37 just about covers it. You know, he probably deserves 7 or 8, to be honest.
Yeah.
And even when you say like he was dragging his team, like it was, you know, there was no donkey work there. This was just serious heat to like seasoned athletes that couldn't deal with it. They were running away. I don't think I've seen Aussies as scared of quick bowling almost in my life. That's a big call. I know I wasn't old enough to remember the windy stuff, but it was good gear. Hey, happy to be magnanimous about it.
Let's get into the second thing, which was just the collapse of the day. I think that I've got the TV on mute here, but I think Travis Head's just been awarded man of the match. Probably fair enough. He scored 100 in a low-scoring game. So I think after this will be player of the series, which he'd be in the mix for, but I think it's probably going to be Sider. But the collapse at Apes, the second thing I want to talk about, they were none for 68, then they're all out 120, 124. So they lose 10 for real quick in the space of about an hour and a half, maybe something like that. Look, you know, it's felt for a little while like this. This game wasn't going to go ahead for ages. Sydney was up in the air a while ago. The whole tour is up ahead. They've got themselves to this game, and then all of a sudden it's a green seamer. They've won the toss. They've got really great conditions. They're in the contest, and then it's like 270. Sort of like, well, sort of have a look at 180 chasing. Then it sort of creeps to 270. It's like we're just not going to get that, despite an excellent start. England don't have a history of getting 270 in the first innings, let alone in the fourth innings of a game on a green seamer. So, look, I'm not going to say like I wasn't having a look, but you know, how many times this team has been like 10 collapses this Ashes. I don't really know. I mean, Burns looked nice, I suppose. So did Zach Crawley. Zach Crawley's got some excellent scores between 12 and 36 now in these Ashes. Probably should have played the whole way through. Milan looked like he was sort of running out of steam. But I also know that Will McPherson on Twitter this evening said that his wife gave birth to their first daughter, their first child, a daughter, last night, 6 weeks early. So this is kind of like, and we've seen Josh Butler, like the sad eyes, like he's got family back home. You know, we'll never know the depths that these England players have gone to emotionally just to get this series ahead after the end of a long year. But they're professional athletes and they have been pitiful, to be honest, this summer. But, you know, they didn't lose 5-0. So there's that.
Mate, I don't know if I have anything more to add than that. I think that's good balance. Like, You're right. We need some perspective on them coming out here, that it was on at all, and that there are bigger things going on in the world. And it has been nice to be fucking blobby with the Knights and, you know, roll on in, keep an eye on the cricket. And they obviously have been part of that as one part of the dancing monkeys that we ensure dance every time.
That's right.
Yep. And we're grateful for that. They've given us some good moments. But they were just thoroughly outclassed, you know, at pretty much every turn, you know, bar some good fight in Sydney, and they got problems. Yeah.
Well, I think Pat Cummins has just been awarded Player of the Series in a live event. Actually, Siders now. Maybe Travis Head was Player of the Series. No, it couldn't have been. No, Cummins has just lifted up the silver urn. I don't know what's going on. I'm just looking at pictures here. We're actually not releasing this episode for another 2.5 weeks, so this is going to be old news by the time this comes out. But the third thing, Pez, just series reflections as a whole. I sort of look back on this series after it's finished 15 minutes ago, and I think about, well, England have had 2 pink ball tests. They haven't had to go to Perth. They've by far had the best conditions in this game. I'm looking at this Australian team now, and with Boland in there, the next time Australia goes to England, our bowling attack will be the main 3, Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood. They'll still be playing 18 months. There'll be Boland, Richardson, and probably Nisa with Lyon as well. That's pretty good. There's questions in the batting there, no doubt, but all Australia's batters have to be is just be slightly better than England's, and I don't think England's are going to be great in 18 months. So I can see the Ashes in 18 months being fucking good.
Oh yeah. Oh mate, yeah, it was good. It was good last time as well. Yeah. I mean, you probably shouldn't take David Warner over there if you're playing horses for courses. So Australia will have some batting stuff they've got to sort out. But yeah. Look, in terms of this series, it has only been 15 minutes, so it's finished. So I haven't, had a chance to gather my thoughts. Something I do in the morning, a couple of deep breathing exercises, etc. Sorry, babe.
Cup of tea.
Just gathering my thoughts. I can rolling around my room there. Anyway,
Seriously, where is Natarajan?
yeah, like I think you can make arguments on both sides over the environment or conditions that England arrived to, and whether that helped or hindered them. You know, on the one hand, they didn't play any practice games. There was no meaningful shit. It was raining when they got here.
Yeah.
They weren't ready to go. They started playing proper cricket about 3 tests in. On the other hand, you see international players score runs or take wickets all the time without any first-class shit like behind them as well. So there's that. I mean, the main thing for me that's stuck out is the La Nina summer has given us a summer of cricket that we haven't seen for a while. I'll remember a summer of cricket with wickets that fucking did a bit all round. The only ones that were a bit placid was Adelaide, but that was a pink ball test, so it's always going to have some spice. And Sydney, which gave us the closest and tensest game. So, but apart from that, it was closer to that formula of ball over bat, good runs, kind of making the difference between both sides. England not being able to muster anything in relation to that. But if you'd asked me before the series, does a La Nina summer assist England or hurt them? I would have thought it would have assisted them by bringing things a little bit closer. But they could, at the end of the day, it actually just tested the skills out more, and Australia came up trumps there again. So, but yeah, and I think we've pretty much covered the rest of it, mate.
Yeah, I've got a bit of sadness about the Ashes generally, though. Of course, we should be thanking Virat Kohli for a start, and also just the fact that England even came out here and we got games on and people were in the stands to actually watch the games. But we haven't seen the best of Ben Stokes. We still haven't seen the best of Joe Root here. We didn't get to see Jofra Archer. The former Australian captain fucking lost a huge part of his life before the series started. Or, all of it. There's heaps to be sad about. We might have seen the end of Josh Butler's test career here, maybe. We might be looking at England heading back into the 90s when they were dreadful for like a decade. I mean, I just don't think they have the players in test cricket. And there's nothing coming through. So there's lots to be sad about, I think, in that. Was this any good? Was it any fun? And that's kind of what I want to lead into with hashtag AskTGC, brought to you by ACO, India's leading digital insurance company. And I've got it on my phone, Pez, so let me just remember my passcode. I've got to send a quick text first. AKA Skins, or ACA Skins, however is your want. Hashtag AskTGC. What is the point of cricket? It seems to be getting boring lately. I don't know. I still saw some good shit this summer. There was a great series in South Africa. I still saw fucking Travis Head play one of all these knocks. I saw Marnus falling over. Steve Smith was doing some fucking wrist shit after Stuart Broad's bowling. Stuart Broad gets David Warner out 14 times now in Test cricket. There's guys interviewing robots. Scott Boland gets clapped when he fields the ball down at fine leg. We see slow motion vision set to a bit of Coldplay underneath, a bit of soft stuff. And it's like, that makes you feel something. Justin Langer has now won the Ashes, not a clean sweep, on the back of a World Cup. There's plenty to like about the cricket, and another Ashes starts in 4 days' time with the women. So I like it.
Yeah, man, I don't know what you want from cricket, aka skins. But I don't. I haven't found it boring. I think cricket's been going really well, and I think I think there's been some great Test cricket all around the world. This Ashes has actually not held up its end of the bargain, but India versus South Africa, sensational. Bangladesh knocking over New Zealand, excellent. Of course. Like Ajaz Patel in India taking 10 for. Like there's been some good gear around, and. There's no shortage of cricket coming up in the next year too, as they make up for everything, and they all just keep dancing for us. We keep flicking little pennies at them, and they'll all do their little dances and their little tricks that we like them to do, and then we'll just get on with our lives, and they'll just be their little entertainers. What?
Patreon.com/Grey Cricketer if you want to make us dance.
Yeah, just a couple of coins into the slot. Yeah, exactly. We'll do some shit.
Well, we are coming to the end of the dailies for TGC. It's been quite a ride. We've still got some stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. Don't get me wrong. There's still the Big Bash final. Haven't watched that at all. There's still the main podcast, which is going to come out tomorrow, which will be speaking about, the proposed 4-prong series with Pakistan, England, India, and Australia. We'll be talking about the Virat Kohli incident. We'll be wrapping up this test match, this test series as a whole. Simon Caddage on the show that comes out tomorrow. Pez, you want to say some stuff?
I think we should have said it before. Like, Australia have been good value this series as well. I think we've focused a lot on England kind of letting us down. But you mentioned Tim Payne. That's a great start for Pat Cummins to come in as skipper, put his stamp on the side. Win 4-0. He may or may not have been player of the series. If he wasn't, he would have gone really close, leading wicket taker. And for Travis Head to cement his spot in the side, a couple of great selections and unearthings. Scott Boland, Jai Richardson, the big bowlers did their shit. Alex Carey played a good knock today, actually. Should have mentioned that. 49, deserved 50, showed some ticker to keep Australia ahead of the game. Great selections from George Bailey. There's a general air of calm around the Australian side as well. I think Cummins is exuding a little bit of soft and hard power outside. Off the field as well, we might see what happens with the coach. I just think it would just be fair to acknowledge that though they've had some weak opposition, Australia haven't really put a foot wrong this summer. I mean, even David Warner and Marnus Labuschagne petered off in the back end of the series, but you know what? They did the run. They did the business to get us the runs to win the series. Warner hits a ton in the first game. He makes 94 in the second, then gets out. That could be 2 tons in 2 games to basically get Australia over the line. Marnus does the same in reverse. Steve Smith not batting well, but still scored some important runs. Cam Green came on. It's pretty happy days for the Australian side as well, which we probably should have said.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm just seeing Scott Boland interview right now. 18 wickets a series, and in his Test career, 3 games at 9.5. So that's pretty good. Cam Green got 3 wickets today, which were huge in the context of the game. Also, funny thing that happened, Joe Root, that ball fucking rolled off Boland. It's just, again, sad for him. This Australian team in 18 months' time, man, with the Duke ball, they've got Cummins, Hazelwood, Boland, reserves. I imagine would be Stark, Nisa, Richardson, and Cam Green will be bowling with Nathan Lyon as well. That's a fucking pretty good team to go over England. I can see some good stuff happening in the future for this Australian team. You're exactly right. That's good. It's been a good performance for Australia to right the wrongs of what happened 12 months ago, although it actually worked out quite well for TGC. And that's the most important thing. Thank you as ever for tuning into these dailies, for the live streams and everything else. We've still got more stuff coming out in the next few weeks before we take a bit of a break. It's been a huge summer, but thank you as always. Australia 4.9-0. Fuck off. See you later.